The Bitcoin ETF just got rejected. The markets are in turmoil. This is Around the Blockchain. Okay, maybe I exaggerated, but they're still down slightly, everybody. Guys, this is going to be a great episode. Please hit that like button. We got 3 fantastic guests on today. We're going to get right into it. We have Cassius. Cassius, I heard there's a song coming out next week. Can you at least float us the song title?
Called Pay Me in Algo.
All right, you're going to have to keep an eye out on that one. I heard a sneak peek, guys. You're going to love it. AJ can actually rap. Of course, Cassius can. Also on, we have Corey Casta. Corey, have you ever tried rapping?
Yes, I have.
How did it go?
It didn't go really well. I mean, I used to spit bars when I used to live in the city, but I went the heavy metal route.
All right. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Hex, there's a lot of things around with that one. All right, and then no flex needed here. We have Crypto Blood. Crypto Blood, how are you doing today? Are you ready for the weekend?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. The question is, does the hat match the collar or does the collar match the hat? I'm just trying to figure it out.
We don't know. I don't know either. All right, well, let's get right to the show. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin ETF, of course, getting rejected. The SEC said the recent filings have been inadequate. More specifically, they didn't, the Blackrocks, the Vanguard, everybody trying to get these ETFs, they didn't do a few things. Namely, they didn't name the exchange that they're partnering with. The SEC, this is an important feature, for their surveillance sharing agreement. So they wanted a surveillance sharing agreement. Well, BlackRock named NASDAQ as their partner with their surveillance sharing agreement, but the SEC wants the actual spot Bitcoin exchange to participate. And I'll say it one more time, a surveillance sharing agreement. I don't really know exactly what that means, but get into the nuts and bolts of the filings here. They have 15 days to amend it. After refiling, there's a 15-day public commentary period. And then after that, the SEC has 240 days to sit on their hands and wait before they approve or deny. That's about 8 months, a little under 8 months there. Now, Cassius, I'm trying to not get conspiratorial when I see this because, Cathie Woods and ARK Investments, they applied a long time ago. Grayscale, they have the future ETF, but they also want a spot ETF. They applied a long time ago. No one thought it was going to pass until BlackRock applied. And then we saw this huge shakeup. Now, maybe I need to replace this hat with some tin foil, but is it possible that they're shaking things up so BlackRock could be on that first wave of ETFs? Because otherwise, they'd have to rule on Cathie Woods and Grayscales first.
Well, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with having conspiracies around this. I mean, BlackRock, basically the biggest money manager in the world, about $10 trillion. And, they've got 575 to 1 or something on approved ETFs. Now, it was only about a week ago when everybody was like, oh, that's it. We're getting a Bitcoin spot ETF. And I was kind of having some pause because I'm a conspiracy theorist about this as well. What if they want to be, this is the one that gets rejected, and then everyone, we told you, Bitcoin will never have a Bitcoin ETF, and, tanks the market again right there. So, whatever conspiracies you have around it, I'm open to them. At this point, I'm curious because it is a hell of a thing for BlackRock, who supposedly knows how to, either fill out applications real well or, grease the right palms. Seems to always get things done. And now here we come back with their application is basically inadequate.
Yeah, surveillance sharing agreement just wasn't quite there. Now, Corey, I can't help but think that sounds a little ominous. What exactly is a surveillance sharing agreement, do you think? What is the nuts and bolts for how it would affect us?
So I think a surveillance sharing agreement is pretty terrifying, in my opinion, because what it does is it allows the SEC to basically be the overlord and quote unquote detect fraud and manipulation with these agreements, which in my opinion is just another analogy for being able to have complete oversight of what exactly is going on with this particular ETF. It basically gives the SEC oversight over what exactly is going on. And I find it rather peculiar that the SEC, they approved 7 Bitcoin futures ETFs, 1 leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF, 1 short Bitcoin futures ETF, but then they reject over 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs that would actually be the only Bitcoin ETFs that are backed by real Bitcoin. So I really don't understand why you have this paradigm where yes, we may try to be paving the way for BlackRock specifically. I think that's what they're trying to do. But at the same time, the SEC is still trying to overstep their boundary by being the I guess you could say the despot that oversees this fraud and manipulation. I think surveillance sharing is very similar and ominous to what we see with like the NSA, with constantly tracking what's going on. And I'm not the biggest fan of that whatsoever.
Hey, the NSA doesn't track everything. They didn't track the spy balloon, okay? They let it go all the way off the coast of South Carolina. Now, Crypto Blood, I'm pulling up the Bitcoin chart here because, the markets, there was a severe reaction here. You can see, it was above $31,000, and then it fell down to 29,000 and some changes. It felt like milliseconds. It took a couple minutes there. Was that an overreaction of the markets, or are we underreacting?
I actually thought we were underreacting. I'm actually surprised here, DZ, because I called it on my channel. I said, you know what, this is not going to happen. This is the buy the rumor, sell the news. The markets got way ahead of itself, and we bid the market up, and I knew it. Like, there was no more meat on the bone. We already priced it all in. And I said, you know what, it can't be this easy. They can't allow BlackRock to just get the ETF passed, the spot one, right now. They're going to delay it and then allow them to have that ETF go through. And if I would say by the end of the year or going into the new year, once full framework and consensus is, pretty much done at the SEC and how they want to regulate this thing. So I think that I thought it was going to go lower. I was right that they were not going to approve it, but I was wrong on, the price action. Thought it would head lower, man.
Well, after refiling, it's the public commentary process is 15 days. Then they have 8 months. I mean, it is July. I mean,
Right.
that means till the beginning of March, end of February right there. So, yeah,
They're going to
could
be the
a
ones
while.
that get it.
Okay.
They're going to be the ones that get it, though, I think.
Crypto Blood, if you had to just throw out a timeline, about how long till we get a spot ETF? Would you say about under a year or over?
Oh, they're going to run it right to the 8 months.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right. Well,
Yep,
hey,
and
if there's a
clear
dip, in the next 8 months, I would definitely be looking to accumulate, especially if we get in, say, under 24. So, all right, well, let's move forward, talk about Celsius and the sell-off. I know we talked about it before, like the judge is going to say, hey, here's a certain date. We don't know when it's going to be. Well, we learned today what the date is going to be. It's tomorrow. It is tomorrow. The judge said, yeah, you could start selling it tomorrow on July 1st. You're wondering, this is just their altcoins that they're going to swap into Bitcoin. They're going to swap it into Ether, one of the two. What do they have? Well, they have $70 million worth of Celsius. I think we actually maybe even have a graphic. I'll have to look shortly. No, I didn't pull it up, but $70 million worth of Celsius, $51 million worth of Matic, $26 million worth of ADA, $17 million worth of Chainlink.
Is that the graphic you were looking for, DZ?
I tweeted it out. Say that again.
What
is that the graphic you were looking for?
The DZ, no, that is Alex Mashinsky, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? Here, let's share the screen. We're going to talk about Mashinsky later. Elon, fix this. You can't sign in. It's actually, I shared it on my Twitter. I was going to pull up my Twitter, but that is a new change that they put in today. But back to the story here. Celsius, they went bankrupt July of last year, or I'm sorry, 22. And then May of this year, judge said, hey, you can start divesting some of these alts. And it looks like they might get about 71% of the funds back. So the customers that deposited $100, you might be able to get 71. That's what it looks like today. Of course, this is going to be a changing story now. Cassius, I mean, did you expect this to be a long, drawn out process as they sell? Are they going to make bots that sell 10 ADA every 20 minutes? Or is this just going to be, a very quick OTC deal that we don't even see it hit the blockchain?
I wish. I got a lot of money tied up in Celsius, man. I wish they would just snap their fingers and give me 71%. Boy, I'd count that as a win. I just assumed at this point I wasn't getting nothing back. So we'll see. But it's a hell of a thing that they say Ethereum and Bitcoin, but like what percentage to each one and how do you determine that? So it probably won't be just a snap your fingers. Nothing about this process has gone quickly. But it sure would be great if they did, because there's a lot of people, millions of people who have money tied up in Celsius. And just for the record, I think Mashinsky should be charged with crimes. He lied all the way up to the end, all the way up to the day before. So, I definitely think that
now's the time. Let's show that picture now. Now's the time to show
this time?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah,
there he goes.
And then my hand slapping him upside the back of his head as well. So,
Oh, good old Scuff.
Anyways, I'll let somebody say a little personal to me because I got a lot of money tied up in there. You tell friends about it and you think you're helping them out, and something like that happens, especially considering it's supposed to be the quote safe play. 71% would be a dream come true, but I'll believe it when I see it.
And just a quick correction on my end. I thought it was 72.5 potentially. We'll see, but by give it a month or two, it'll be 69%. Now,
nice.
Corey,
69.
Nice.
Just a guess. Just a guess.
Just take that.
Oh, that's a random number.
Yeah. Just a guess here. Now, let me throw out some of these numbers at you again, Corey. $51 million worth of Matic, $26 million worth of ADA, $17 million worth of Chainlink here, $70 million worth of Celsius. Do you expect any outsized moves to affect some of these altcoins? Or, more specifically, what about Celsius impact? I mean, that is $70 million. The biggest holding is in the Cell token. What can we expect for the markets?
I think it really depends on whether this is going to be a drawn out process, or this is just going to be a sudden dump. Because if there's a sudden dump, then obviously you're going to see a price decrease substantially and very, very quickly. However, I do believe that if it's a drawn out process, like what we've seen, unfortunately, with Mt. Gox, and I'm hoping that it's not what we see, because with Mt. Gox, people are still waiting for their money back, and it's been almost 10 years. So what I think is going to happen, if it's a drawn out process, we're not going to see a price decrease with these assets. But if we do see them sell everything very, very quickly and very, very in 1 day's time or 2 days' time, then yes, I do see a collapse, and not a collapse in valuation, but a drop in valuation for these specific cryptocurrencies, specifically Celsius. I do believe that right now there is a lot of resilience in the Matic and ADA community specifically, and the reason why I say that is because they were both alleged securities. Now, alleged securities is not synonymous with actually being securities, but that type of news has created a model where people have been, I think, nervous about it. But at the same time, and Matic and ADA were delisted from Robinhood, but they're still standing pretty resilient and strong surrounding their price valuation. So I believe that the community itself and the broader crypto markets, since they find valuation in these assets, they really haven't dropped substantially since this occurrence. So I don't think that even if this happened quickly, like with Celsius, for example, happening overnight, let's say, I still think that they would recover rather quickly, in my opinion, rather than not being able to recover at all, because these are blue chip assets in the crypto sphere.
Yeah, some of them have pretty steep daily trading volume. I don't see Cardano maybe being affected too much, or Matic for that matter. Now, Crypto Blood, I kind of want to ask you about broad Bitcoin dominance question here. Now, Celsius token, probably obviously better to have Ether or Bitcoin there. But I want to talk to you about Matic, Chainlink, and Cardano. They're going to swap all that for Bitcoin and Ether. Say we fast forward 1 year, 3 years, we don't really know. Are the affected users, are they going to be better off or worse off? Are they gaining Satoshis here? Are they losing Satoshis? What do you think, for those three coins at least?
Well, it all depends on when they decide to drop the swap, So if it's in a few years, then it's almost like a forced hodl. So it may be a good thing at that point, because I think altcoins will go up faster or at a faster clip than Ethereum or Bitcoin. But I don't know, DZ, is it 71% of all holdings, or is it just 71% of the coins they had, and then the bulk of what was tied up was from their like earn program, wasn't it?
It's the custody yield. Is the custody account holders could potentially get 72%.
Yeah, so I think a bulk of the money was not in that account. So I think a lot of people are still going. It's in the earn account, and a lot of people are still going to get pretty hard there with that one. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, I think that the three coins, it's all about when you get those coins converted. If it's later on, then I think it's a good deal. If it's right now, it's a toss up at that point.
Yeah, and my 2 ETH, I've been pretty public about it. I had it in the earn program. I didn't have it in custody. I wasn't going to let them custody my ETH. I just gave them a couple ETH to, hey, maybe at the end of the year I got like an extra 10% of an ETH. Right. No, I actually lost 100%. So 100%. Maybe, I think I lost out. I thought I was going to walk back with 110% of Ethereum, but no, It was just zero. It was just zero, folks. All right. Well, I'll tell you what's not a zero, at least in Tom Crown's eyes. It is Litecoin, everybody. Litecoin
baby.
is pumping. Now, Crypto Blood, you went to Litecoin conference. I believe it was within the last year. You know, I mean, it's dubbed the digital silver to the digital gold. There's 4 Litecoin for every 1 Bitcoin. You know, I mean, it seems to be pumping very, very hard. If we look at the markets right now, you can see it's cracked into the top 10. Sorry, Solana. Sorry, Tron. You're no longer in that list. 25% pump just today, and that is in the face of the news of a blocked ETF by Blackrock. You could see the Bitcoin dump as the Blackrock news, and then they just shook all that off, and then it was off to the races. The 7-day looks about the same. I mean, you can just see a huge, huge spike right there. Now, Crypto Blood, what is going on? I know we have the halving. It's about 33 days away. You know, we have hash rate going up. What is going on? Is this just the halving pump? It doesn't seem to make sense.
This is not about the halving at all. This is not about the halving. This is, and if you guys follow me on YouTube, I Hate Crypto, you will know that I've been talking about this for quite a long time. Okay. It's all about EDX. It's all about institutional funds coming in. And that is why you're seeing this pump in Litecoin. And also, I know we're not talking about it, but Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is a very strong move as well, maybe even outperforming Litecoin. So those 2 coins have been sleepers. And I think that you're going to see a continued rally with these 2 coins. I see a doubling here if we don't see a market rollover to the downside. So yeah, this is a go. This is a green light. You're going to get hundreds of millions of dollars, or hundreds of billions of dollars, I should say, into those coins in the next year and a half. So
all right, and just to pull up the charts right here, you see Litecoin up 25% for the week, but only 25 for the day, only 15 for the week.
But look
Bitcoin
at Bitcoin
Cash, 23% for the day, 63% pump, everybody. It is now above 300, and Litecoin, first time in a long time, above $100. I know a lot of people, especially Tom Crown, he's feeling so good about this right now. You know, he was actually going to be the 4th guest, but he said he had to take a vacation because Litecoin went above 100. I'm kidding. We love Tom. Tom, please come back. Hopefully I didn't offend you there. Now, Corey, I know I see your background. So, you know, you probably care about utility. What would you say Litecoin's main utility is? What's its main selling point besides just being, I don't want to say watered down Bitcoin, but a 4-to-1 Bitcoin?
I think its utility is that it is a currency, and that the fact that it's legitimate, the fact that it's been around for over 10 years, been around since 2011, shows utility in itself. I think age is also synonymous with the fact that it has staying power. I think that it has the power to be digital silver, just like how Bitcoin is digital gold. I think Litecoin has the ability to be digital silver. So I believe with that type of staying power and that type of digitization, because I don't believe in the future as we go forward, we're going to see people holding physical gold and silver as much as digital gold and silver. So with that type of prospect and that type of excuse me, and that type of proposition, I believe that the main utility and the selling point of Litecoin is simply the fact that it is the silver to the gold of the Bitcoin standard. And the fact that it's been around again for 12 years speaks volumes about where it's going to go, in my opinion, in the future. And we're also seeing, like what Crypto Blood said, the EDX listing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So I think that institutional notion also provides the utility that the institutions, Citadel backed, is a utility in itself, that they find value in these 4 different cryptocurrencies. And institutions that back these currencies tend to give confidence to retail. So I think confidence is a utility. And I think that being the silver to the gold is the utility as well.
All right. Well, I need to buy some Litecoin. I need a little more confidence. We have some of our super subs. Yeah, like Cassius does. Some of our super subs, Just Jim, there was a listing a few days ago, Bitcoin ETH, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Corey just named it the EDX markets. That's the big players, Citadel behind them, and a couple other large industry movers there. Now, Cassius, let's pull up the chart real quick. I have Litecoin's all-time chart. You can see, I almost laugh at that little early pump way back 2013. Then, 4 years later, we got the other bull market top. You can see here, 2017, early 2018, hit I think some exchanges had it really close to 4. Then 2021, we put in a new all-time high, but Cassius, it was barely. You can see how close the pump was there. We actually couldn't put in a new all-time high in November. The next bull run, Cassius, will Litecoin continue to print new all-time highs? And any predictions here?
First of all, I would say the short answer is yes, but I want to give a shout out to Litecoin. It's the first crypto I ever purchased. I purchased it on Venmo, so that tells you how much I know about crypto. A lot of folks out there did the same. A lot of people I know, but I wouldn't recommend purchasing on Venmo anymore. I actually still hold there. Come a long way winning this influencer award in Miami last year, so I've learned a ton since then. But here's one thing that we didn't talk about. Litecoin is a proof of work. And so I think that, you mentioned a halving. We did mention that. Blood mentioned that. But there's something to be said for all the proof of stake protocols, having the SEC go after them and like Litecoin not being mentioned. I think that potentially gives it some legs for being different. I think some of these things some of these cryptos are going to be viewed differently. And when some of the dust settles, we don't know what that'll be. But one of the things that I think the speculation that might be contributing to the pump is the fact that it's, maybe more like Bitcoin than it is like some of the other proof of stake coins. So, I'd be on the lookout.
EDX, Citadel, and Fidelity, they wouldn't pick those 4 coins without knowing something. And I think they specifically picked those 4 for a very good reason. So you got to go with it.
Absolutely.
And just a little like extra, or go ahead.
You mean something like with the regulatory issues? Is that what you're saying?
Correct, Cassius. Yep.
All right. Well, hey, maybe a little extra wrinkle to the story here. And just for a little clarity, August 3rd is the projected halving date, and they're going to go from 12.5 Litecoin per block to 6.25. And so, hey, the supply is about to be cut in half. That is issued daily. This it could be a big event. If you don't know what a halving is, every 4 years, it is cut in half the supply, similar to Bitcoin. It is a fork of the code there, but I think we stick a fork in it because we're done, and Corey ended up taking it home. I appreciate you sticking around. It's a little bit shorter episode, guys. It's just one of these fun weekend shows, so please help us out. Hit that like button, and make sure you follow everybody in below. So, Corey, feel free. You took the belt from Cassius, even though not physically. You took it in the metaverse. So feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts here.
I just want to say thank you so much for everyone tuning in. I want to say thank you so much for everybody who has been staying in this bear market. It's a brutal, bloody bear market. And for those who are staying, I hope that you reap the rewards when this bear market finally ends. You can find me at Corey Casta's Crypto Coins in the description on YouTube. I've interviewed Charles Hoskinson, Dennis Porter, Bruce Fenton, BitBoy, Crypto Wendy, Roger Stone, many different individuals in the crypto and political arena. You can find me on Twitter at Corey Casta123. I want to thank both the Hex community for backing me and bringing me to where I am today. And also thank you so much for Syscoin for sponsoring me. I think Syscoin is great. And they just launched their Rolex Layer 2 on Syscoin mainnet. So I just want to say thank you very much for everyone in the chat.
All right, great stuff there. And we're going to end with Crypto Billy, one of our super subs. If you're a super sub, your name's lit up. It's just easier to read you. We appreciate the support. Cassius, Mind Your Biz told me his belt is bigger. Laughing emojis. Let us know, chat, who has the bigger belt. Let us know in the comments. We're going to be reading them later. I think that's all we got time for. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just so distracted by Crypto Blood's window. That's all we got, guys. See you Monday.